The Cosori 6.5 quart slow cooker, and currently it is plugged in, and you probably can barely see that LED display flashing. And that's one of the many little things I found wrong with it. Now, it's a beautiful, beautiful looking slow cooker. Many people love it. It cooks wonderfully, but there are some design flaws you should be aware of, and I'm going to point them out to you. Now, despite the fact that it has design flaws, I'm going to tell you a little bit about it first. Now, the low setting will cook on the inside about 122 degrees to about, maybe about 130 degrees in about 2 hours. On medium, in about 2 hours, it'll be at about 195 degrees. And on high, in about 2 hours, it'll be about 230 degrees plus. Okay, so that gives you an idea what the temperature ranges are in the cooking. Now, it might take a little longer for yours to get to those temperatures based on the temperature of the items you put in there. Now, what I can tell you about this machine is that when I got it, it was great. I washed it. I followed all the instructions. You get a little manual here. And, you clean the lid. You wash it very thoroughly. I've seen videos of people scrubbing it nice and clean, drying it. Wonderful. This is a rubber lid seal. And it's a little bit unusual compared to the other seals that I have that came with the Cosori product that I own that seem to be clear silicone. Now, the inside of this is a nice removable ceramic pot. It's very thick. All right, I'm going to set it aside because I want to show you a few things here. I found some faults with it, and this is what I do when I review things. I look, I'm not, going to be subjected to the fact that it's just a beautiful machine and say, oh, this is great, it cooks. Well, it did all that, but there are some problems. That display is on right now. You can barely read it, and I'm in a well-lit room. If I was in a dark room, it might still even be a little difficult. All right, there you go. Nothing here. None of these little settings light up in any way, shape, or form. Now, when you press on it, it'll come on at a default 6 hours. You can surpass that by pressing the cook timer repeatedly. It goes in 30-minute increments all the way to 10. And this is the same for warm setting, low, medium, whatever. It doesn't matter. When you get to 10, you hit it again, you'll start at 30. That's the minimum timing you can set it at. Now, if you're cooking on low for 6 or 7 hours, it'll default over to warm, but the default setting on warm is 6 hours. So if you wanted it for 2 hours on warm, you'd have to manually walk over here, set it to 2 hours. The only little thing that's a little bright on here all the time is this little red dot they put for stop. All right, that shuts it down, and that's the blinking display. You then have to unplug it to turn it off. Now, the handles on here are awesome. The inside is held together with these two devices here. And you'll see the problem, one of the first problems I encountered was that on the bottom of the machine, they put these oversized studs coming out of the bottom. Now, let me move this a little bit. There we go. Okay. It's sitting on top of this table runner currently. And if you can look at this from my angle here, it's about as thick as this little pad away from actually hitting the countertop on a hard surface. So when it's on this table runner here, this stud actually impacts the runner. Something you should be aware of. Now, I don't know why they put extra long studs there, but they did. This is the heating element or cooling element. I'm not sure exactly what it is, but it actually comes in contact with the surface when it's on a runner. Now, that might be an issue for some people. It might not be an issue for some people, and that's great. But this display has a problem. I love the fact that it's flush. You spill something, you can just wipe it down. Everything's nice and clean. That's cool. However, this top edge on here goes all the way around. It's curled around. And when they did it on mine, they come around the back side here. And I don't know if you can tell, but you see it sticks out right there all the way along the edge. It's sharp. You will cut yourself if you just go wiping this thing down with a rag, rub your finger across it, you're going to cut yourself. Now, I contacted Cosori, and I can quote this. I'll put a copy of their email up for anybody that wants to see it. It's actually comical. They told me to take a piece of sandpaper and file it down. Okay. That's a little bit uncharacteristic of Cosori. I've reviewed their products before, and I've had no problems with them, but this particular one has that issue that worries me, because not only that, but it's cheap feel in the back. If you're wiping it down, you can hear it click. The backing comes and goes on it. Rattles a lot. Now, that might not bother anybody. That's cool too. But this entire surface, and I am not kidding you, when they say watch out for hot surfaces, this entire surface around the circumference of the entire cooker, when it is on, gets to 160 degrees. No lie, I checked it several times. It is hotter than the hottest tap water anybody would ever use in their house. You touch that, you are going to jump back anywhere on this. This gets really warm, but this is extremely hot. I don't even know if there's any insulation in here, and I asked them at Cosori, and they said they were aware of the problem, and they were going to try and address it. Now, with that said, when I first fired it up, I put 6 quarts of water in here, and this is after I washed it. I put 6 quarts of water in here. I dried everything down, cleaned it, and I turned it on. It was an awful, horrible, disgusting smell that lasted for about 2.5 hours. My wife has asthma. She had to leave the house. If you were to turn this thing on for the first time, after cleaning it and then having company over, you would not want to have company over. They would smell that and just lose their appetite. It was absolutely disgusting. Now, the residue left behind, I mean, I wiped everything down. Nice inside, outside, not just the out of this. I went inside the whole thing. Just cleaned it all off real good just to get off the manufacturing residue. But it still was an absolutely horrible smell. Now, the person that contacted me from Cosori said that they believed it was the rubber seal. And I'm thinking, if you think your rubber seal smells that bad, you should not put a rubber seal on a slow cooker. You should put a silicone seal. Now, I don't know if that's silicone rubber. I don't know, but they referred to it as a rubber seal. And it looks like rubber. It's black. It feels like rubber. Is it? I honestly don't know. I'm not going to take a chunk off and send it in to find out. But as a cooker, as a beautiful looking thing, it is gorgeous. It'll sit in your kitchen. It'll be a very attractive piece. It cooks well once you get rid of the smell. And if you can get past the fact that there are a few little weird things about it with those bolts on the bottom, take a look at yours if you have one. Make sure it isn't gonna get in there and scratch anything. And the rolled edge, which they did not do correctly on mine, and it's a very, very small edge compared to what they do on the bottom, which is really put it in there. Maybe, I don't know, maybe a little more than 1/4 of an inch. Up here, I don't even know if that equals 1/8 of an inch rolled steel over the edge there, but it's very fine. And in the front, it's solid. But then you get over here, and the whole thing starts to rattle. So if you are looking for a slow cooker, this one might still be in development. I honestly don't know. But they really need to improve upon the display and possibly the seal, the odor. And it would be nice if they could attach the entire piece around without it cutting your hand when you go to wash it, as well as keeping this thing down to a minimum temperature. Like I said, this is way, way, way too hot. 160 degrees is not cool. Okay? So enjoy it. Be careful with it. Be aware of it. And hopefully yours doesn't have the problems that mine has, but it might. And if it does, contact Cosori. Let them know what you think. That's what I think you should do. Obviously, it'll cook a great meal. Great meal videos are out there. This is not about a great meal video. This is about the machine that you're going to use to make that great meal. Be aware. Be advised. Shop well and enjoy. Okay. Take care. Thank you.